Boom! And there it is. Welcome back to another episode of Comic X
Weave.
That's right. This is our 15th episode. We do it every Monday at 7 p.m. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We like to break down everything. That's right. Lick it. Just get all up in there.
Real good.
Nice and deep like. We like to talk about everything pop culture, manga, anime, but especially comic books and movies. I am your co-host, James, a.k.a. Comics for Cheap, a.k.a. Cancel That Bastard. And I got my co-host with me.
It's your boy, Chris, a.k.a. Black Santa, a.k.a. Big Black Booty Daddy, a.k.a. Super Cold Water. And we got a lot of stuff today, man. We got a lot of stuff today. Y'all gonna hear about the album actually pretty soon too. That's next week though. But we got a lot of stuff today though. We got a lot of stuff.
We do have a lot to talk about today. We are gonna go over, I think, Invincible is one of the items that we're talking about. Eternals, Injustice with a possible animated movie coming out, and Loki, of course, which is on the horizon as well. So, where do you want to start with, Chris?
Man, I think let's start with the Internals because I got that on my mind right now, real quick. Let's start with that.
Okay, so we got a trailer drop today of Eternals, a little bit longer than the little tease that we got when Marvel was kind of pushing its let's go back to the theaters thing that they were doing, which was cool. I really liked that hype video. And then, but now this Eternals trailer, after watching it, man, like all I can say is I didn't get much from the trailer. I really didn't.
So let's say what I at least got from it, and some good, and that's bad. But the one thing I got from it, I think visually it's gonna look good. I think this could be arguably their best visually looking movie. Like I think some of the stuff you're gonna see is gonna be like really cool, and to some people mind blowing. But I think it's gonna be really cool and interesting to look at in that way.
Yeah.
As for some of their decisions,
characters,
I don't know, man. I will say this though. I think they're gonna have to. Of course, the big elephant in the room is what everybody is criticizing them about is the stuff with the Avengers. And why come? Because you hear throughout the whole thing about the ladies like, oh, we never interfered and blah, blah, blah. We let them do that. Even though that's kind of a lie because technically they did show up and like jumpstart humanity, basically. You even see some of them like creating water and stuff like that. So don't BS and say you never completely interfered unless you're trying to say from a physical aspect, which that's not necessarily true either. But they did do a lot of that, as well as how can I say it? The thing that was, I will say that was interesting, and I'm guessing they're going to have no choice but to explain. And we'll go to Angelina Jolie's character, Athena, something that I'm thinking is interesting. I think I read somewhere she's going to have a big secret. And
I thought she was supposed to be Cersei.
No, she's Athena. Angelina Jolie is cool. I'm very look it up or something, but I'm pretty sure she's Athena.
Okay.
If I saw that trailer right, that looked like Angelina Jolie with Athena.
Someone told me something wrong then, so I got it.
They told you very wrong. Because unless I'm pretty sure I'm right. I know my character's good enough. Look it up real quick.
Yeah, you are correct.
Okay, cool.
You're right.
So the big I'm pretty sure the secret's gonna potential spoiler alerts for people who have no idea about the Eternals whatsoever. So we're gonna get some spoilers here, and this is not about the movie because none of us really know much about the movie. This is about the characters in general.
Right.
I'm pretty sure her secret's gonna be that she had children because she has twins.
Yes.
If they make it big, then maybe one of her twins is Thanos. Maybe they can go down that route.
Okay.
That could be interesting, like at least. But that's going to be some type of plot point there. I heard somebody saying that the two twins could end up being given to Wanda, which could be interesting, I guess. But I doubt that's going to happen. But that could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But thing is, and I'm kind of going back and forth on this one because there's a lot of things I want to say, but I just want to make sure I hit certain points. I'm really the whole thing about them never interfering and all this other crap. Thanos snaps away half of existence. Mm-hmm. And you guys telling me that wasn't big enough to interfere in or do something about? Because at the end, remember, at the end of the trailer, they tell that terrible joke that wasn't funny at all. It was beyond cringy. And I hate the word cringe, but that was just straight up cringe. And it was supposed to be for laughs, but I had no laugh whatsoever. I was like, this is stupid. Talking about some, well, where's Rogers and where's Tony and blah, blah, blah. Who's going to lead them now? And Icarus is like, oh, I'll lead them. And they start laughing. That wasn't funny. That was fucking stupid. But the key thing is they knew about the events. So why come they didn't do anything? I mean, remember the Eternals are people who was tested on early humans' lives, civilizations, when humans was just really brought into the world and on Earth, and the Celestials took them and experimented on them, and that what led to the Eternals, right? And then you got the what is it? The Devaults? I might be saying it wrong.
The Deviants or something.
Deviants,
like that.
thank you. There we go. You got the Deviants, which Thanos is a Deviant. He does have two eternal parents, but he ended up being a Deviant. So Thanos is basically one of your own, causing this universal problem, and you don't interfere. You don't do anything.
Okay, so a lot of people that's like the first thing that everyone's freaking out about, right? Is that I mean, it's all over the internet right now of just like, they don't interfere. Oh, where were you when Thanos was doing his thing? Where were you when Thanos landed on Earth? Blah blah blah, to come fight the second time or the first time or whatever. So my thing is, I mean, it could possibly, it's more than likely going to be explained in the movie, right? But like you were saying,
it's going to have to be explained. Yes,
right. Like you were saying, Thanos is a child of the Eternals, so there's a possibility that they just weren't messing with anything because of that. Two, maybe they supported his cause in some like let's just kind of chill and see, whatever. If it happened, like maybe they were seeing that Earth was, destroying itself, and they were kind of like, maybe it does need a little bit of a reset. I don't know, whatever their logic or anything, that can be explained, right? That's not what really makes me as upset or anything. I think so. The Celestials, when in the story, in the comics, the Celestials come to Earth, and that's where they create the Eternals and Deviants. But it seems like from the trailer that they've already created them, and then they sent them to Earth. That's when the ship arrives or whatever. So that's a little bit of a strange.
They're supposed to be guardians of Earth to a degree too.
Well, guardians of a Celestial they're trying to birth too.
True.
So, I mean, what if they're trying to incubate? What if the storyline is that they're incubating a Celestial and it's Galactus? I'm just kidding. That would be terrible. But
he stops himself.
Let me just stop before that gets out there and like Marvel actually considers it. No, just kidding. No, but like they are supposed to be like incubating. That's their main like thing that they're doing right on Earth is they're half watching out for humans, but mainly they're incubating a Celestial that could possibly, hatch, grow, and destroy Earth coming out. That's kind of its thing. So I don't know if there's any kind of mention of that. I do enjoy the fact that we're getting like Game of Thrones 2.0 with two of the characters straight out of Game of Thrones, the Jon Snow dude and the Robb Stark. Kit Harington, and I can't remember the other actor's name, but that's funny. It's kind of like a little reunion, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him as Black Knight, Kit Harington as Black Knight. I think that would be kind of cool because he is a pretty dope character. The Black Sword, the Curse of the Black Knight, everything like that. I mean, he could be a really dope character if they do him correctly. We've only seen like 3 seconds of him. Just like his face going like this.
Yeah.
so we don't. I mean, there's not too much to go on from that.
But but that's again, a lot of people are upset because of it seems that they're trying to shove the diversity thing down your throat. instead of actually caring about the actual characters. Where, look, I'm be honest, I don't give a damn who's playing who. I don't care if Angela Jolie's in the movie. I don't even care. I can't even name any of the actors. I don't really give a damn about who plays the movie. I care about the characters, how to roll. I care about how things go and the characters. Right. What's more important there? And one of the biggest things I'm not happy about is the fact that they turned Ajax into a girl. Like, why are we doing that?
Right.
Like, you should
actually, I didn't know that.
That's who they are.
JBK's dad says the Celestials placed the Eternals on Earth for one specific purpose. They were not to deviate from the Prime Directive. The only reason we are seeing them now is because their Prime Directive has been set in motion. Which I think, like he's saying, the Prime Directive, which he also said that he's got potential spoilers because he read a leaked script. But I don't want to spoil anything here, so let's not do any kind of spoilers. But speculating is fine. So speculatively, what you're saying here that their Prime Directive, I think the Prime Directive is to grow a Celestial. Is honestly, I mean, that's just what I think. And I mean, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Maybe their Prime Directive is something else, and that was set into motion by them defeating Thanos. I don't know. Or maybe they needed to defeat Thanos to, I don't know, to be able to come out. Who knows how they're going to write it, right? So obviously it's going to be different from the comic books.
Of course, it's going to be very different. And technically, we don't know when the scene of them eating takes place in terms of when stuff pops off, because it's the possibility that Thanos' situation was happening while they was dealing with something, and they couldn't deal with both. That's a possibility. Right. We really don't know.
That was the lazy writing that they did for Captain Marvel. That is basically, why weren't you here the first time? Well, other places need my help too. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, see, to be fair though, I can't necessarily say that's lazy writing though, because if you look at it in reality, it's like her job. If she's like a space captain, basically a space police or whatever, she can't be completely focused on Earth. She has to deal with other instances. So if something else pops off in another area that she needs to go take care of, and something's happening on Earth, and she got the thing for that other area first, and she's on her way there, she can't just stop what she's doing and then turn all the way around. That actually makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of jobs she has to do and deal with that in reality, let's call it what it is, you can make an argument that's more important than dealing with the shit that happens on Earth. So
definitely more important than just like some bullshit on Earth, like, oh, whatever, like, let's say, fucking Loki showing up on Earth, right? Definitely more important than that, but more important than Thanos coming to collect the final Infinity Gem to destroy half of life. I don't know.
Considering all of the big bads in the Marvel Universe, there's a lot more big bads, way worse than Thanos, that are way more scarier, that would be way more important for her to deal with than whatever Thanos is doing. And then at the end of the day, when Thanos actually became the threat that he was, she did show up.
Yeah,
she showed up when needed. So I'm just saying, for me at least, it made sense to me, and I had no issue with her being like, "Yeah, I had other things to do. Like, I'm sorry, but I got a job to do, and that doesn't concern me. Focus everything on Earth. When stuff pops off, I'm here.
I got stuff to do. I had to shop. There was a sale on the other planet." No, I was just you would think she would at least say something, bro. I wasn't missing that sale for nothing, bro. No, but
bro, it's like in One Punch Man, when Saitama, he has some stuff he gotta take care of, and then there's just like a sale at a grocery store, and there's an alien like destroying half the planet. My man gotta make sure he get those beans, bro. They on sale, those chips on sale. We gotta go pick that up, bro. Get that ham for dinner tonight, and then he goes over there. He starts one punching some demons after that. But you can't miss a good sale, man. You can't miss a good sale, man. You can't do that.
Oh my goodness, it's too funny.
Yeah,
in the case that says that she wasn't aware of Thanos until she responded to Fury's pager. I guess that's true too. But Fury did send out the alert to help. But yeah, enough of Captain Marvel. I can't stand her. So but back to the Eternals. Overall, I think you're right. I think it is cinematography. Like, I let's just put it this way. I thought at first that the Guardians of the Galaxy movie was going to be pretty trash from the first trailer, the first full trailer that we got when I first saw it. I was like, I I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it happen. So maybe, hopefully, it's going to be a same kind of situation where I'm seeing this first trailer and I'm like, I'm not seeing it happening, and I'm completely wrong. But as of right now, I think it's going to be shot beautifully. I think the effects are going to be phenomenal. But I don't know how I'm going to feel about the movie overall. I don't know. I mean, unless are we launching like one super important thing? Or are we launching one super important character? I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of this movie is going to be.
I feel like it's a movie to set up everything. I feel like its main purpose is going to be to set up many plot points for different movies. That's what I feel is going to be. So
you think it's going to be a plot point movie?
Yes.
So it's definitely going to be a setup movie. I'm just wondering if they're going to set up a person or if they're going to set up, like you said, a story or an event that's going to happen down the line. Like, I mean, you can even say Captain America was a setup movie with the Tesseract. Like, is it going to be something like that?
I think it is. I think it's going to be set up for many other movies in the future and many other big bads and many other situations that's going to happen. The Eternals is going to set those kind of things in motion. I think that's what that goal of that movie is going to be. But I don't feel as optimistic as you. After this trailer, it definitely went down even more. And I wasn't really excited about it before. Now I'm completely I'm going to watch it because of the setup points, but I have no interest in the movie now. The trailer completely made me say, oh, God, no. Like, I lost full interest in the movie after that trailer. So I'm just like, well, I got to watch it because I feel it's going to set up a lot of important aspects, but I really feel it's going to be a movie I'm not going to enjoy whatsoever. And this will be a one and only time I watch this movie, and that's going to be a one and done. Just so I can know what's going, like, just so I can see what's going to happen in the future and kind of make my own ideas of what I think could happen. Outside of that, man, I'm not excited at all about this anymore, man. I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, I had that much excitement to begin with. I wasn't looking forward to it anyway. It's just now, it's just gone.
Right. I mean, what I hope that we're both wrong. I hope that it is a solid movie, but like you said, the hope for it is whatever. If it is a setup movie, I think regardless of if it's like great or not, just because it's a setup movie, it's not going to be received greatly. Period. Like, because we're coming off of like some really intense final movies from Marvel. I mean, not counting the shows, right? Let's just say the shows aren't even existing right now. We're coming off of Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame, like three huge crossover type movie, and I mean, like, even before that with Civil War and stuff like that. It was just like action. We already had set up characters. We already had, we knew which direction the plot was going, and it was just kind of in your face action movies, right? And now this one, I
still won't put Ragnarok in there whatsoever.
I'm just saying
big at the end of the movie, but I didn't think the whole movie was big at all. I think at the end it got serious with Thanos, but the rest of the movie to me was just a joke.
Yeah, but I'm saying like those were like the last three movies that they still had whatever the action and or comedy or whatever it was, and now we're going to go into the Eternals. Well, I guess we get Black Widow before it, but even Black Widow looks like it's going to be like an action spy type movie, so that's still going to have a lot of like in your face action with a character that we know.
I think that's
what's up, John?
Black Widow movie though.
You say what?
I think that's great for a Black Widow movie. That's what that needs to be, though, like a spy.
Right. We got to see a little bit more footage of that movie too. I think they released a little bit of something, or like a chase scene or car chase. Whatever. It looked all right. It was a typical car chase type scene. But now we're going from all that right into Eternals, which exactly like you said is just. I think it's going to be a slow setup movie. Like, I think they showed what, like maybe a flash of what could have been a fight scene in there, but for the most part it was just kind of like landscape, which again it's just the first trailer. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are going to go into it kind of like we went into WandaVision, the first 2 episodes or whatever, where it's just like expect great expectations of what's going to happen, and finally Marvel movies are back, and this is going to be the start of the new era and everything like that, and it's just going to be like, and here's your slow burn setup movie.
But here's the thing, though. I think if they go down that route, that's actually the best move to go with. Because if you think about it, you can't have every movie just be nothing but fighting without putting plot towards anything. And if this 100%. Movie is what I believe it is, and it's going to be a setup movie to put in motion for the rest of this phase or whatever, and to move things forward for that, that's the best idea to go with. Because you got to look at it. One, it's not like the Eternals are super popular. They're not. Most people don't even know what the hell these guys are. So you're still gonna get the fans though, because it's a Marvel movie, and all these guys want to. This movie is not gonna flop. Like, people are gonna buy. What's my man saying here?
He's saying law of averages state Marvel has to eventually give us a clunker. I'd rather it be Eternals than Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, or Spidey.
Right, and that's somewhat what I'm going with, because it's like, if you got to sacrifice one movie to really set up plot, The Eternals is the perfect movie to do that with, because their role looks like it would be something for plot because of knowledge and everything they know, and what they can set up for moving forward makes the most sense. Because let's say they had to make that decision, say they have to. Would you want Spider-Man to be a plot movie? I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't want Spidey to be a plot movie. I'll be very disappointed. So this will be the perfect thing to do that with. Plus, considering all the people you're going to get coming in here, at least you're going to be able to tell the story of what's going to be happening moving forward to those people. Instead of it being just like on a Spider-Man movie, I'd rather use it as the Eternal movie to set everything up. Because people are going to see it. They're going to go watch it. It's going to get people looking at it. So if you have to sacrifice that movie for it to do that, those characters can play that role. I'm fine with that. I would rather that be the case. And they need to set up future plots. This does not need to be just another action fight scene and nothing really gets set up for the future. It's us waiting for a freaking end credit scene for us to know anything. I don't want that. This movie needs to let us understand before we even get to that. That can be icing on the cake. This movie needs to let us know what's happening throughout this movie. Like, okay, so this is going to be something that's going to happen later on too. This is going to be more bigger down the road, instead of it just being fight, and then we get one credit scene for us to speculate on. That's not smart business right now. They don't want to rush things like DC is doing on their end.
No, I'm with you. We were just talking about that before we went on too. So I'm 100% with you, and I 100% agree. I'm just saying that you look at your average fan, and I'm just worried that the average fan is going to rate it poorly, which is going to make other average fan look at Rotten Tomatoes and be like, "Oh, Eternal sucks." So then they don't see it. You know what I mean? So that's just my concern with the movie. But I'm with you. I think it is 100% going to be a setup. You're saying plot, that does make sense, especially with their connections, Celestials, and have the direction that we're going is definitely going to be more interstellar. So I think that, I think 100%. And even you can even slip a couple of references into, since it looks like they're coming back tens of thousands of years ago, is at least that's there. You can even, maybe slip into conversation Galactus or, whatever. Just say, or not even like mention them, but just kind of like hint or something. So it is definitely, there's a lot of tools that you can use with a movie like that. Just my concern is, to the average fan, a slow burn equals their poor reviews equals less money. You know what I mean? So then then the studio looks at it like, oh, why isn't it doing so good, or whatever. But maybe I'm just thinking too deep into it.
No, I understand exactly where you're coming from too, though. Like, I get that, bro. Like, that is the fear, that if you go down that route, because let's be honest, people are so quick to just listen to other people, where it can be definitely disturbing. So if a bunch of people says something sucks, people will look at that and say, "Oh, this sucks. Oh, this is trash," and then they just repeat what the other people said was trash without actually knowing whether or not it's actually trash. And that's just one of those, it's like, and this is somewhat of an unpopular opinion, but it's just like, recently they released the Mass Effect trilogy, and a lot of people love Mass Effect 1, and it's mainly because of nostalgia. That game sucks. The plot and the story behind it is amazing, but the game itself is complete ass. It runs like ass. It plays like ass. And it looked like ass. It looked okay for its time, but it's just not a good game. And even now, here's the key thing too, where you know it's just nothing but nostalgia. People are like, "Oh, all you gotta do is just get through Mass Effect 1, and then you'll go to 2, and you blah blah blah. Just it's all about the story in 1, blah blah blah." No, the game is bad. Even with all the updates they did, the most work they had to put into it was Mass Effect 1. But where am I going with that? This ain't the best Mass Effect 1, because again, story-wise is great. Plot amazing. It's a good game in terms of story and what it builds for. Just gameplay wise, it's the worst in the series. Mass Effect Andromeda came out in 2017, and it has all these memes about the facial animations and all this other stuff. But a lot of people was like, that game is bad. But in reality, the game's not bad at all. It's definitely better than 1. A lot better than 1. But because so many people were saying it's bad, and it even sold good. It didn't sell terrible neither, which people don't seem to remember. But since so many people was like, the majority screaming voice was like, oh, it's a bad game. Then you got all these other people, even newcomers, like, oh, this game is terrible. Have you actually played it? No, I haven't played it, but I know it's bad. I don't want to play it because it's so bad. It's actually a good game. It's a very fun game. Enjoy it now.
Mob mentality.
The mob mentality, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening.
You don't like. It's a lot, and again, it's one of those things that like some people don't like to stand out different from the fray or go against the grain, and think for themselves. Basically, it's just that everyone says it sucks. Oh, so I'll say it sucks too. Without forming their own opinion, or even like you said, even experiencing the game or the movie or whatever it is that's in question, or reading the book for yourself and deciding for yourself if you like it, that kind of thing. Just because one or two major influencers say a certain thing, and it just kind of snowballs from there. So
it's just like my thing with Ragnarok. Anytime I said Ragnarok was bad, I never once said anybody's opinion on it is bad. If you loved Ragnarok,
right.
Awesome. I just didn't like it. But that's not how the mob mentality works. If you say, oh my God, no, I love Andromeda or something. Oh no, you're an idiot. You're a piece of garbage. You don't know anything. You're trash. Your taste is terrible.
Right.
Like that's not how that works, man. You can have your opinion on whether you like or dislike something, and it's not the end of the world. It's okay.
Right. Everyone just chill out. It's gonna be okay.
Just chill out. Just enjoy the people.
But yeah, so as far as the Eternals trailer, that's pretty much. I think we've run that course. Final thoughts. We'll have to see. I don't know if they're going to release another trailer beforehand. They'll probably do something with maybe like half of the original trailer and half some nude scenes or something before we get the actual movie.
I thought you said some nude scenes.
Well, you know what? Angelina Jolie still got it. So if she wants to show some titties of the eternal type, I'd be down to go. Might be exactly what we need.
A whole lot of people right there.
It might be exactly what we need to spice this movie up and get those positive reviews going. Let's get a petition going right now for Marvel. Angelina Jolie's titties in the Eternal movies. Yeah. And that's where we're going to end that. Let's move on.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right. Well, like he said, we'll end it there. But Jesus Christ, man. That is great. Yeah. That is awesome.
All right. So
that Loki stuff a little bit, man.
Loki. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Go ahead, because you were saying that you saw some new.
There was something that was interesting. I saw that, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I saw like the collar that he had on his neck. Okay. That looked like a X-Men reference there.
The power or suppressor collar or whatever it was.
Yeah, the inhibitor collar.
Inhibitor, thank you.
Yeah, it looked like that to me, man. I was like, oh, is that an X-Men reference there? Is that what that is? That would be pretty cool if it is, man. There's going to be
really cool.
lot of time travel in that. They already said it's definitely going to have more than Endgame did.
Hashtag Jolie Eternals titties. Yeah. So okay. So I'm very excited for this Loki show.
Me too.
I'm not even like doing any kind of huge speculation comic wise, except for what we talked about like a couple weeks back that we thought Kang was going to make an appearance, and now there's a strong rumor that Jonathan Majors is set to appear in the Loki show. Jonathan Majors being the one who's playing Kang. So it would not only would it make sense, it would be awesome. Like even if it's just like a little whatever, like a tiny scene or a mention, or they show his picture on the screen while they're talking about like people that go against the Time Variance Authority, or however they want to do it. I think it would just be really cool to get excitement and some hype around one of the most badass characters that Marvel has. So that would be really cool. The rest of it, I'm just there for the ride, man. I'm so excited to see, because like this is a Loki that doesn't know shit past the first Avengers movie. Like this isn't like any kind of redemption Loki. This isn't any like now I'm kind of like on the good side. This is him coming off of a failed takeover like in the height of his evilness or villainy. And that's the Loki that we have now. So I'm so excited because
don't forget too, and it's not like Loki's an idiot. Like Loki's very knowledgeable, but you're still right. He still has no idea in terms of everything else that's went down. So that's just really cool when you think about that too.
And since he split the timeline, honestly, so I think it's going to be mainly about him having to clean up himself in the timeline. Like they're going to use him to try to, like the female Loki or kid Loki or what, like just other random Lokis that occur now because of what he did. And I think that's going to be the main basis of the show. And then just kind of going forward from there, we'll see what happens. But I'm so pumped for that one. It's probably going to be my favorite one.
Yeah, I think it will be too. It's like when you saw how like the destroyed New York and everything, and that could be a product of female Loki or even kid Loki who made a mistake. Even though he's probably going to be obviously the good one and the one that maybe teach this Loki a big lesson and kind of be the one to really soften him up throughout the series if he meets him early or if he meets him later on in the middle, whatever the case may be. It's a possibility female Loki might be the more of the big bad of the situation, where she's not just a one episode one off, where she's pretty much his final obstacle that he needs to take to fully fix his crimes that they're going to be charging him with. And it looks like he gets to see firsthand what happens when you found guilty, as my man just got disintegrated from existence, and Loki's just watching that. He's just like, oh, crap. So this is what I'm in for.
It should be a good chemistry between Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson as well, because even as angry and villainous as Loki is, even before, if we're thinking just up until the first Avengers movie, he still is quite amusing to watch, and he does crack some jokes and here and there, and he's just all around funny. And of course, Owen Wilson known to be in comedic type roles, so he just has a natural air of humor that he just kind of gives off when he's talking. But oh Loki, all you do is talk, that kind of thing. Like I feel like that little back and forth there should prove interesting as well. And so I'm excited to see what goes on there with good old Owen Wilson. And if we don't get at least one wow, then I'll be very disappointed.
Same here. Extremely.
I just want Owen Wilson to like rail lines of coke off of a desk in front of Loki.
I'm gonna go out the limb. This could be crazy now. Spoiler alert, potentially. I'm gonna say that's probably not gonna happen.
I'm done with this then. I'm out of here.
You're done with
it. No, but I mean,
if we don't get an Angelina Jolie sex scene, I guess I'm done with the Eternals. Right?
If we don't get Angelina Jolie banging Loki in this like a crossover event that happened. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so what do you think as far what are we going to take away from this show though? What do you think? From what do you like the show ends, and then it's like what is the point of them having done this Loki show?
Well, I think that
to have a Loki again,
Loki's going to learn some kind of lesson. It will be very interesting if he leaves this and is still like completely on the world dominant, universe dominant path completely. Just instantly like, all right, well, I got through that. Now it's time for me to really let loose up my plans. Like, I don't think he's gonna do that. We might end up getting him sacrificing himself, and then Kid Loki takes over for a period of time, and then we eventually get, him being forced to be an adult again, and that stuff kind of happens. We could get that. That could be very interesting, having a Kid Loki around later on. So where am I going with that? I think that this is basically going to also be a huge thing of plot. I don't think we're going to get that much action. I think we'll get enough, but I don't know if we're going to get a super amount. Like, I don't think every episode is going to be fighting.
Right.
Like, I really don't think that. But
I wouldn't think that either.
I think this is going to be beneficial from that, though. I think this is going to be a more interesting thing than the Eternals. And I think this is, plus, Loki's just great. The actor who plays Loki's awesome. The character itself is awesome. So I think we're going to get some setup. I think the Eternals is still going to be a bigger setup, but I think we're going to get some minor setups that could go into like Thor and characters that affected Loki more than the entire Marvel universe, which I think the Eternals are going to be more set for that. And while Loki is going to be more set for mainly the Earth plot points that could happen later on.
Okay, that makes sense for sure. We also, like you said, we'll see what Loki or what version of Loki we're going to come away with. I don't know if they're going to try to reset into Kid Loki. That'd be strange. They'd have to set him aside for a little while, I think. But I mean, maybe he doesn't have a plot point, like you said. I mean, he's not going to have too much outside of the next Thor movie, which they're introducing Lady Thor for. So,
all right,
Lady Thor. We got a picture of her recently too, on set or something. I don't know.
Oh man, I am 100% not interested.
Poop. It was like a deep cut, whatever, showing a little cleavage, and then something with the booty. I don't know. The internet was enjoying like they've never seen a picture of a girl before.
Right. I know the internet was just going crazy, like getting their little phones and internet stuff, and just getting the picture to get closer and closer to our cuts and boobs and butt and everything. And I know I'm the big booty daddy, but come on now, we come on.
Big booty daddy.
Calm down, guys.
But yeah, so I mean, I am excited for Loki, like really excited, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think it is going to be some more setup for Avengers. But what I just don't know. I think I'm just there to enjoy it. Really, I'm not even gonna go too crazy into the world of speculation on this one. I'm just excited to see what it brings.
I can hear the excitement from you, bro. Like
I am, man. It's soon, right? It's in a couple weeks, right? I think. Like, I know it's like one of the first Wednesdays because they moved it from Friday to Wednesday as far as a release. So is it like June 2nd or June 9th or something like that? It's
right.
It's
gonna be on a Wednesday? Interesting.
Yeah, so now they're going to be on Wednesdays. I think they said that a couple of weeks ago that they were just going to change it from Fridays to Wednesdays, just because it seems like every online streaming service is releasing their new content on Fridays. Maybe they just don't want to compete with that, or they want to get ahead of the curve, or whatever it is, just a different night to release their content. But yeah, so Wednesdays is going to be their day for that.
Okay. All right, if that's how they want to do it. That's interesting, at least. That's something.
It's smart, I think.
Yeah. Make it where you have pretty much no competition at all. Even though, them having the competition, they would have the best odds of winning most battles. It's still smart if you can not even have to take place in a battle. Yeah, just do that. So that's definitely...
It's also kind of one of those things that's like, instead of like you watching it over the weekend and then talking about it during the week, you watch it during the week, you talk about it Thursday, Friday, and over the weekend kind of thing, or maybe even rewatch it over the weekend. Maybe they're trying to go for that, like a rewatch, to heighten the rewatch playability or whatever. I don't know. I'm not an executive at Marvel, or maybe I am.
Well, maybe. Maybe we're not just giving speculations. We giving flat out
Yeah.
spoilers, bruh.
Can you
No.
imagine? I would if I worked at Marvel, I would buy like the books that I knew were gonna pop. Like, dude, I would insider trade so hard, and you'd be like they would fire me for sure. I'd just be
Bro, that's why you gotta be smart about that shit, bro. You tell your homies about that shit, bro, and you let them make these decisions. You don't flat out tell them the thing, but you nudge them in the right direction, and
look,
you let
it's
them
not the
make
stock
the decision,
market.
You know, feel a little
Yeah, it's not the stock market. You know, it's not regulated by the SEC or anything like that. So you just buy a comic book. You just like, I'm just buying a comic book. I don't know what.
That's all, bro. What's wrong with me buying a comic book? I'm just picking up this fucking Craven. What's wrong with me picking up this Craven? Yeah, we're working on Craven right now. But so what? I like the character.
I know you are, but I've always wanted a Craven. So
well, when we would talk about Psylocke the other week, you started buying her stuff because I like the character. What's wrong with me liking the character?
James,
I like
why
Psylocke.
do you have 50 copies of Psylocke the day before we announced that we're releasing Psylocke?
Because I like Psylocke, bro. What's wrong with that? Like, damn. Cool. Stop hating. Shoot.
That's right. That book, any X-Men book right now, honestly, anything to do with mutants is just exploding. I mean, just speaking of Psylocke has gone up for sure. The first appearance in New Mutants Annual 2 has just been one of those books that's just like out of nowhere. It was like a $20 book all day. Now it's 50 to 60 raw, and like a 9.8 is up in the thousands. And I'm just like, golly. But it seems like all books are doing stuff like that. What's that?
Yeah. So I'm a big Psylocke. I know I told you before. I don't know if I said it on camera, but Psylocke is my favorite X-Men. So you know.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I'm a big fan of hers. So I'm happy to hear that. That's freaking awesome. Okay. I think we said enough about Loki. Was there anything else?
I don't think there was anything else for me. I mean, just because we have talked about Loki before, and we didn't get too much new stuff. Just a little.
No. We were just hitting off of really a few things that we kind of saw that was interesting. Again, it's just gonna be fun. We're both excited for it. That's gonna be awesome. All right, let's talk about some Invincibles, bro.
Invincible. All right, let's do it. So you got to watch the show?
I did watch the show, and some things got me so excited. You know how I am. When I get excited about something, I kind of really start to dive straight into it and start reading way more than I probably need to, and just start looking up things and going into like what happens here and why does this go down. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of spoilers here. We're not going to go farther than where did they end it?
They ended it on the show with Omni-Man going off, assumedly to Viltrum, and then Invincible goes up into space and talks to that dude. I can't remember his name right now, but talks to him, and he's like, "Hey, I come to warn you that there's a Viltrumite on your planet." And Invincible's like, "Yeah, we kind of figured that out now. Thank you." And he's like, "And it's also, you know, I'm his kid," kind of thing. So that's where the show ends.
So we're not going to go too much past that. We're going to try to keep it. You know, I don't know. It's going to be some spoilers though. I'll say that for sure. So it's going to be more of like really questions and like getting our opinions off of certain things. So my question to you is the relationship with our main character, Mark, and Amber and Eve.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
So I've been told that they kind of smartened Amber up a little bit. Like in the comic, she's a little more of not like a dummy, but just a little more like typical high school Valley Girl type chick. But I haven't not actually read the comics, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so this is where I'm coming in at, because I looked at the comics more than really the show. That's why I was asking, like, okay, so where did the show stop? So I gotta ask this. So in the show, did it? Yeah. I don't know if it went this far, but did they at least have the scene where? No, they're still in high school, right?
Yeah. So
they don't graduate yet.
Correct.
Damn. Okay. Damn. All right. So okay.
I always thought I did think it was kind of weird. I mean, as far as like Mark and Amber go, I thought it was weird that like he kept pining after her. Like it was like, oh, I want to keep making it right. Oh, every time I mess up and I have to go be invincible, but oh, just give me another chance, give me another chance, give me another chance. When he even says it to Adam Eve, how much easier it is, or would be to date a superhero that would just know what's going down. And at that point, I was like, is he trying to make a move, or like what is he doing? Because yeah, so my assumption is that that's the direction that it eventually goes. Judging by your face, I'm not too far off. So
yeah, see, that's the reason why I asked that question, to bring up another thing, because just real quick on the Amber part in the comics, at least, she's definitely naive in the sense of like, I'm not going to go into details on exactly what happened unless you ask me, but let's just say there's something happens where Eve and Mark are having a conversation, and the entire time Amber's just standing there like looking off in the distance. Mm-hmm. And Eve brings up the point that she won't even look up. Right. She just completely looks straight. And she's not even looking up at us. She's not even looking up at the sky. It's basically one of those things where it's like she is mainly just focused on very little things, and that she doesn't have a real ambitious goal going forward. And Eve points that out to Mark, and it hits it right on the nail. And that's basically how her character kind of is, where she does that. And I don't know how the show really does her that well, because I've seen like one thing that got me interested to really read up, because I want to know more and kind of be like, all right, so how does this, definitely once I saw the relationship, I was like, I want to know how this ends. And I know how it ends. So I was like, okay, so that's interesting. And I brought that up to ask the thing when it comes to, Superman's my favorite hero.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's something on Superman I want to talk about too in a minute. But anyway, Superman's my favorite hero. The one thing I've always hated was the Superman and Lois Lane aspect. In terms of like, I didn't feel that it was as realistic as when they was hinting towards the Superman and Wonder Woman thing. Where them being together to me was so much more realistic and so much more, to me, meaningful than what Lois and Superman was. Mm-hmm. Where Superman for so long had to hide so much of his stuff from her because she couldn't handle it, or it would endanger her in such a big way. Where if he was dating Wonder Woman, you don't have to hide that much.
Right.
Like you have somebody who understands Lois will never fully be able to understand Superman stuff more than what a Wonder Woman would understand, because the weight of the world that's on Superman's shoulders is also on Wonder Woman's, where Lois will never have that on her shoulders. So she will never be able to understand that. And honestly, obviously it happens, so it is possible, but I still think it's BS that Superman can even screw Lois and she doesn't die. I just don't see that. How do you hold back your freaking seed and that don't just blow her like entire top off? Like, how does that not work to me? Like, you can hold that back? Like, I think that would be faster than only two. Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess he had to. Maybe he fucked some whores and trained himself to, as far as everything. I mean, even like getting excited and breathing heavy. Superman's got that super breath. Could have blown her across the goddamn room just from panting a little bit.
Like, oh God, Lois, her freaking head explodes, or just completely freezes up and it shatters.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's all like kind of strange, and then like her getting pregnant, a little weird too.
And her being able to even pop out little Kent, like, come on, bro, like that little kid should have destroyed her insides on his way out, like just all of that. But
he's an alien; they shouldn't even be able to make a baby to begin with. But anyways,
even if you want to make the argument that it could be the argument that you could say, well, technically, maybe the kid wouldn't even develop the powers until he was hit with the sun. Like similar to what happened with Superman, until he really got hit with Earth's sun, his powers wasn't as powerful. So maybe that could be the argument. But still, the intercourse itself is kind of like questionable to me. Like, how does that even happen? But the point is, I hear talking about
write
Superman
this comic, Chris. Chris, we should write this. We just call it Superman fucks Lois. It'll sell millions.
I'm pretty sure that's probably out there somewhere. So definitely like Pornhub hell or somewhere. It's probably there. Jesus Christ. There's gonna be like the random people who watch our videos and be like, we go to Pornhub real quick.
Look it up real.
Let me check that real fast.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
For science.
No, the concept. Do you agree with me though, or do you disagree that Lois
I agree.
is not there to understand Superman as much as like Wonder Woman? And that's the thing when it comes even in Invincibles. When you look at Amber and Mark, and then you look at Amber and Eve, it's like it's a parallel thing to me of Superman and Lois and Superman and Wonder Woman.
And I think that's kind of what Kirkman was trying to draw at a little bit there with that little bit of parody there. But another point to what you're making, it also it's a very much of an insult to the intelligence of women, just period. That Superman just constantly, continuously lies, and Lois is just like, oh, okay. Or just like accepts it, or like doesn't believe it, or ask questions, or like figure it out even a little bit that, you know, Clark just constantly disappears randomly, or that the dude picking her up kind of looks very similar to the dude who sits across the desk from her. You know, just little things like that.
Like, just, man, if I just put some glasses on you and kind of mess your hair a little bit, oh my God, it's Clark. Oh man, that slick back hair and no glasses completely confused my entire brain cells. Wow, and Lois is not supposed to be an idiot, so it's like, Jesus,
right.
Man.
And so that's another thing that like Lois is very smart and like a highly esteemed reporter herself, but like that whole thing is just it doesn't make sense, and it is an insult, an intelligence insult for sure, and just kind of writing women off as like whatever, but. Again, Superman did start in the 40s, so let's kind of remember that too.
And I get that. And let's be honest, back then, women were not looked at very positively by, especially by higher up males. So that's very, you know, like you said, it was in the 40s, and it was like, well, he takes his glasses off and put a little grease on that hair a little bit. Yep. Lois is too damn stupid to figure that out. No, yeah, that's perfect secret identity. All right, take your shirt off, go save people. But yeah, that was like the thing. It was like Lois is supposed to be like this good reporter. Like she's not a trash reporter. She's a pretty good reporter. Yeah. And her job is to figure things like that out. And you're like, you can't just notice that Clark, like the first couple of times you can make an argument, oh, he's just a coward. He's running away when stuff pops off. But then it becomes this theme where it's like, no, something's not right here. Like, you can be a coward and all, but every time Superman shows up, Clark is gone. Every time Superman is not here, Clark is here. Right. Yeah. For sure. Like this goes on for like 10 years, 20 years until Lois finally figures it out. It's like, come on, bro. So many battles Superman's going through, and it takes you so long. He's basically the one that tells you. It's like, stop. Come on. Why would he need to do that? Because she can't handle it. So when they was doing that thing when he was dating Wonder Woman, I was like, I love this. This is awesome. And this is way more realistic. He can talk to somebody and actually be like, this is what's going on. And they're going to understand that. Like Wonder Woman's going to understand completely where Clark is coming from. Right. And you don't have to hide so much. So I will say they do a great job in the Invincibles when they handle the situation. Right.
And there's a line in the show, and now I know that between the book and the show, because Dave, my buddy Dave, was showing me some panels and stuff. They drew pretty much like stuff straight out of the panels to go into the show, especially for the finale. That's cool. But like one line that Adam Eve said is as far as like trying to explain that she didn't have a mask, right? So she said, well, if you don't look for a superhero in your high school, or you're not expecting to see a superhero in your high school, you won't see a superhero in your high school type of thing. Which, I mean, a little bit, but if you're watching the news earlier that morning and then you go to school and you see the same bitch that was just seen, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna be able to figure it out.
I saw you glowing pink. Yeah. Was that you was glowing pink? destroying that demon that was trying to kill everybody in Southtown over there. Yeah, like,
exactly. And she's got bright red hair, so I mean, she stands out. So
yes,
it's not I don't know. That's just one of those things. But yeah, for sure, Invincible. I mean, I didn't get it. There was not too much explanation why he was so pining after Amber in the show too. It was just kind of like he met her, she's pretty, and that's that. So like, he just all wants to date her. And just constantly trying to make up to her or like explain himself, and then finally does reveal himself, and then her response is, "I know, I've known. Why didn't you tell me before?" Or like, "Why didn't you start with it?" or whatever. So again, that might have been smarting her up a little bit more than what the book had her as, but as I don't know, why would you even go after that when Adam Eve is like right there?
Right. Now this is gonna be up to you. Can I tell you one thing that happens with Eve later on? Or do you just say no? Go for it. Okay.
Go for it.
So Mark gets in a situation where he goes through like different dimensions, right? Mm-hmm. And while he's going through these dimensions, I gotta say this is actually really cool. He actually gets slammed into the man, the one and only, fucking Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew he had a little crossover with Spider-Man. Yeah.
And then when he goes back to the portal to fight the person he's fighting, the Spider-Man's web is like on the back of him because Spider-Man was trying to pull it back, but he couldn't. And that was pretty cool. He also runs into Batman. He looks at Batman.
Oh, that's dope.
And he's like, he looks at, and obviously they don't completely show Batman or show these guys, but you know who they are and they make sure you know who they are. He looks at him and he's like, wait a minute. You dress up like a bat. Your name is Man. Isn't that pretty lazy? And that's exactly what I said on air before when I was talking about people's names. And I was like, let's be real. Batman is a lazy name. Silver Surfer is a lazy name.
It's true.
My ass off when I heard that. I was like,
it's so true. They are lazy names. I mean, there are some that are so much worse because like when I go through sometimes like these books. And like when I'm flipping through like Key Collector or whatever, and I like first appearance of like Strongman. Really? The Strongman? Have we like completely lost all like innovation and whatsoever? And it's like it's just funny. It's funny stuff like that. But it's just like he's a man and he's strong. Or like what was Eraserhead Man or something like that? Bro. Yeah. Oh, he's got an eraser. He looks like a pencil.
Condiment Man. Don't forget about him.
Oh, yeah, Condiment Man. Your favorite.
Well, the greatest Batman villain of all time.
Yeah, bro. What am I? You get hot sauce on my dick or something? Like, how are you taking me out? How are you going to stop me without putting some fire level hot sauce on my balls or something? That'll take me out for a little while, for sure.
That would suck. Yo, dude. I'm going to go find some eyes. That would suck, too. Some mustard in your eyes. That would probably really
mustard in the eye for sure. That's going to ruin my day. I'm just saying, hot sauce slapped on the balls. I'm going to have to go to a store. I'm going to have to buy some milk. Probably put my balls into the milk. You know what I mean?
My question is, what kind of suit are you wearing? Are you like Namor? Or are you just wearing?
Bro, I'm Namor, except like a little hole just for my balls to drop out. I'm old man Namor. I got long ass balls. So Condiment Man.
Now I finally know what got Sue interested. Now I know what finally got Sue interested. She just looked down and saw those things hanging out. He's like, bro, these got air out. She's like, oh my.
I'm fucking done. That shit is hilarious, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm just saying, if there's any way that Condiment Man was trying to get at me, he just did some molestation moves, you know.
Absolutely. But yeah, so anyway, he gets he ends up yeah, so we digress. So now, you know, segue. He ends up the guy who he's fighting, he ends up eventually, I'm not really gonna name the guy, but the guy he's fighting, he ends up actually killing the guy. And this was really huge for him because it's really the first time he actually cold-blooded killed a person out of anger. And he's sitting there like, oh my god, I'm like my father. but he's sitting there waiting in this situation, and then eventually the other heroes show up, including Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all talking, and you can see they're older. And she's like, yo, I'm like, he was like, how long have I been gone? Like, how long have I been looking for me? And they're like, it's been 15 years. We've been looking for you for 15 years. And he's like, oh, okay. And she's like, well, we're going to put you back to where you were originally supposed to be so that time doesn't pass. But she's like, I need to tell you this. I need to tell you this now. She's like, when you get back there, what you need to do is go talk to me. And you need to tell me something. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I love you. I've always loved you. In these last 15 years, I have done nothing but obsess waiting for you. Always hoping that you would tell me something, that you love me or something. Always having that hope. You need to tell me something. You need, and she keeps saying, it's like, you need to go back there and say either you love me or you don't love me. You need something so I can get over my life, because I can't, I don't want to have to live like this through another timeline. So stuff like that was very interesting.
I do know, so he doesn't age like other, obviously, like humans. I think we kind of discussed that too. That
no, he does not.
Basically, like,
and it's like what his father told him. What will you have after 500 years?
Right. Yeah, exactly. None of this will matter in 500 years when you look pretty much the same and everyone else is gone. But one thing that I guess they haven't really revealed in the show, but is kind of revealed in the story that I do know about, is that the Viltrumites, as they age, start to lose control of their rage more and more, which is like what you were saying with the cold-blooded killing. Right. And also why he's not trusted as much, by the God, it's been a minute since I've watched the series. So the older dude, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. But so basically just there, the guy that forms the Guardians or watches over the Guardians, that dude doesn't trust Invincible because he knows that eventually he is going to pretty much, as much as he might want to fight it or try to stop it, that he is going to go down that path of his father, where he just loses control of his rage and he does end up killing him.
And that is the thing too, that is very true, because you do see definitely towards the future, his anger definitely gets the best of him. Mm-hmm. Like you can see him get angrier and angrier in different situations, and that does make him make some stupid decisions. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting to see him go down that like a path like that, where it makes sense though. They did I want to say, the dude who wrote this, he did a great job.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
I was very impressed by this. I was like, wow. I didn't think I was gonna get like it that much. But I was like, all right, I need to know how certain things end. Like I need to keep finding. I need to get this information so I know what actually happens. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much. I was like, that'd be all right. But no, I really enjoyed it.
Kirkham, obviously most famously known for writing The Walking Dead. He's also written Oblivion Song. There's a series called Die, Die, Die. He's just known for writing like extremely graphic, bloody, gory type stories. I still want to get my hands on a copy of like a compendium, or I know it's online for free or whatever, but just to have like in a book so I could sit on the couch or in bed or whatever and read it. But just to kind of go through some chapters of Invincible, I think I'd be very interested to see what the source material.
I will definitely say it definitely has some really gory stuff that happens in that. Definitely later on, I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. That's some breath air, a fresh breath of air right there. That's really good stuff. That's neat, because you don't see that anymore at all. Like it's even nowadays, especially in comics, it's so tame. When something happens, they like kind of blur it out, or they kind of put in like a scene where it's like shadows where it's happening at to really display it, where you don't really see this stuff. And that's kind of really where our generation is basically came to now, with all of the censorship and all the stuff that you just can't show anymore. But
also, I mean,
sometimes it shows to have that kind of gore to explain the situation the best way it should be, because that's what would really happen.
Right. And also, I mean, he had a lot more liberty being published by Image instead of by like Marvel and DC. So
That's true.
the Todd Father, I'm sure, gave him a lot more creative control over whatever he was doing. And I mean, Spawn is not known for being, tame. So coming from the publication that launched with Spawn, I'm sure that he probably did have a lot more room for the violence and everything else like that he was putting into his stories.
That's true. Before I get to the last thing that I want to say real quick before we wrap up, at least on the Invincibles, do you want to know what happened with Old Boy and Eve, or no?
No, because like I said, I do want to read and I don't want to spoil for anyone watching as far as moving forward to the show. But we will. I mean, I'm sure once the next season or whatever comes out, we can discuss that. To talk about it for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, we are now at the Let me
say one more thing before we go.
Oh, go ahead. One more thing.
And this is about Superman. Did you hear about the news that they was looking to cast a black Superman?
Yes, I did hear that.
So let me tell you what the problem I have with that.
Okay.
Instead of using the actual black Superman we have, they was gonna turn Clark Kent black.
Wait.
Yes.
Like
it was stated that they was gonna use Clark Kent and just turn him black. Instead of using the two actual black Supermans we actually have, they was gonna turn Clark Kent black.
So they were just gonna restart the story only. Yeah.
Basically.
Clark. Still call him Clark.
Still call him Clark. We have two Supermans who are already black. Two that can serve the purpose the way it should be served. Instead, we're just going to turn Clark Kent black. That's like if they would have freaking turned Peter Parker black. That is stupid.
Right.
That is non-stupid.
Yeah.
So, I have like a big problem with that. And the thing I will say, I was so happy to see the black community was angry as hell. Because we was all like, we already have two black Superman. One becomes the president. That could be such a good feel-good story. Instead, we're going to turn a character who should stay white. He is a white character. That's nothing wrong with that. We need to stop turning these characters black or turn them white, like to make people feel better. Just either create a new character or fix that. Stop turning these characters white or blacks. It's so stupid. It's dumb. Yeah. Like that's a little bit the problem I kind of have with Ajax. Like, why did you turn him into a girl?
Bending, right?
What was the point of that? Just keep it as a male.
Right.
It's not like you don't have enough female characters on the cast.
Right.
Like, to me, it's like what? To turn them female and then be like, oh, the female's in charge of the group. Is that the point of it? For more of the like women power stuff, which I don't understand. Why is that needed? If the character's a male, keep them male. If the character's a female, keep them female. You don't have to change them or turn them black or white or whatever. Keep them what they was originally.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna make such a big change, either make a new character or flat out say this is just an alternate timeline.
Right. I didn't know. I had no idea that they were still going to try to say that it was Clark Kent Superman. Yep. I heard that they were talking about Black Superman. The Michael B. Jordan's name was tossed around, I think, and then it kind of disappeared after that. Like it was like a super hype for Final Crisis #7 or whatever, which is one of the first appearances, and then like it just died off. So
I feel like because the backlash they got, I think that kind of killed it a little bit. They were just like, let's shut up about it right now. Because people, especially the black community, we wasn't happy.
Right. They must have backpedaled pretty hard because
it's a freaking bone. It's kind of disrespectful.
Right. They must have backpedaled hard, like you were saying, because I had no idea that they were still going with Clark. And just like what I don't know, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like they're just gonna redo the Superman origin and
right.
And he's just gonna be black coming down there. Like I don't know.
But yeah, I want to get that out real quick before we left out because I want to make sure I said that.
Yeah, because I mean, you're right. There are a lot of like right now what they're doing with some Which I mean, like sometimes the gender bending rules or whatever is like is whatever. Like if it's not a major character, like on The Boys, for example, Mallory, one of the detectives or something that you see every like other episode for like 5 minutes or something. They made Detective Mallory or whatever, or FBI agent Mallory a woman instead of a woman. It's like okay, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care about that. But like the main character, like it's such a dynamic change when. Like for anything, if he's written a certain way or she's written a certain way, and then to make them a different race or gender, and it's just like, okay, well now you just kind of changed a lot of other things in the story potentially that now you're I mean, just if you're going to try to stick with the source material, right? Then I'm not saying I don't know. It's just I don't know how to feel about it.
No, I get you because it's like now. Ajax is different in a lot of ways because now it's a female, and that's like, all right, that's actually a character who's been established to be who he was, and now it's completely changing that. Okay, and then if you look at
like,
Superman,
I mean, Ajax established in Eternals #2, so it's not like Eternal or Ajax just showed up like later down the line. No, Jack Kirby was like, all right, this is issue #2. Here's Ajax. Here you go, and yeah, so it's just.
And it's just like the Superman thing real quick. It's like, so if you have a black, now you turn it, let's say they was to go down this route and they just turn Clark Kent into a black Superman. Like now you're telling me a character who in this iteration, whether you want to say, well, he's an alien, so he's not really white, whatever. He's been drawn as white. He acts white. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. So now you're going to tell me he's just going to start saying things that would be black. Or is he going to continue to act
or is he going to be adopted still by a white family in Kansas, or is he now going to be adopted by a black family?
Now it's going to be a black family in Kansas?
Is it good? Exactly. So that's my second question. So now is the black family, if that's what they choose, is going to be in Kansas in the suburbs, or is it going to be like in more of an urban? Because that now you're changing so much. It's like how are you going to have him grow up? Like because everything that you're going to do now is going to be looked under a microscope as racial connotation. Of like whatever you choose to do. Oh, now he's growing up in an apartment building instead of like a farm. So now all black people are in apartments. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like it would be such instead of just like you said, just we have a black Superman who has an origin story. Why don't we use that? And now you're just gonna like rewrite Clark's origin story, or you're basically gonna fabricate an origin story. And go from there.
Like you said, is he just now? So now is Lois and Lana going to be black, or are they going to stay white? Is he going to grow up in more of an urban neighborhood, like you said, or is it still going to be in the basically country type thing in Kansas? Or like, how is all of this going to go down now? And that's just like, and then it's like when you think about Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks, where a lot of even some of his black teammates were like, well, he's one of those like. Uncle Tom brothers. He's one of those guys who's more white than black. That's not really fair to say, but you don't think that's going to end up being said about this version of Superman if you keep him the exact same? Why put that kind of scrutiny on the character for no reason when you don't even need to do that? When you already have black Superman that you can take from and just use their origin story and you have no issues. Then you're looked at as, oh, this is awesome. This is, looking out for, other races and everything and doing it in such a cool way and a smart way instead of just trying to turn a white character black.
Right. Like for sure. I'm with you 100% on that one. Yeah. And that exactly like you were saying, that would just be like making Peter Parker black instead of introducing Miles Morales into the MCU or whatever. It's just like we have even though he's black and Hispanic Spider-Man, we don't need a black Peter Parker.
Yeah.
That's one. It'd be like I don't even know. We could say that with almost all the characters. It seems it would just be like it just doesn't make any sense to do that when you have a viable option straight from the comics.
Yep.
But there you go. That's our episode for tonight. We appreciate you guys watching. Remember, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, all that usual stuff. We will be back next Monday at 7, like we always are. So thank you guys for watching. Stay villainous and
fuck the Fantastic Four.